Welcome to today's talk session. My name is Deidre Moss, and I'm the host of Can We Talk? I'm an educator, motivator, and a talk connoisseur. Today, as we've already closed out 2021 and welcome 2022, we thought it would be meaningful to talk about vision planning and mindful thinking. Our guest today will reflect that. Our first guest, Kenisha Missick, is a dream board specialist. She will talk about dream boards and vision boards. I don't know if those terms are used interchangeably, but she'll explain. And so we're going to jump into the session with our first guest, Kenisha Missick. So at this time, I will pass the virtual mic to her to have her introduce herself.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to 2022. My name is Kenisha Missick, and I am a Dream Board Party Facilitator hailing from Freeport, Grand Bahama. And just a little bit about myself. I have a daughter who just turned 15. I just celebrated my birthday last week, on Sunday actually passed. So I started this new year off with a bang, and I want you to do the same for yourselves.
All right, great stuff. So can we talk 2022?
Yes.
All right.
2022 is going to be a great year for everyone involved. And so, of course, as a dream board and vision board facilitator, we have all of our plans laid out and we want things to get done. And I'm here to tell you that you can do it and it can be done. You just have to work towards it. So you had asked earlier, vision board and dream boards are interchangeable. And I use the terms interchangeably. Some people may or may not, but I do use the terms interchangeably. And that's only because of my own perception. I believe that my dream board is the things that I want, my dreams and my goals and my visions for my life. So I prefer dream board, whereas other people may want to use the term vision board, but they are used interchangeably. Same product.
Okay, so they're interchangeable.
Yes, they are.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Just give us just a little bit of your background. How did you get into dream and vision boards?
So years ago, let's say more than 10 years ago, I don't like New Year's resolutions personally, because I feel by the end of January, we forget what the resolutions are. So about 10 years ago, I started writing down my prayers and my goals and my dreams for the upcoming year. I would write it on a small slip of paper, scrap sheet of paper, and I would tuck it in my wallet. And when the following year, when it was time to rewrite my dreams and goals and visions, that's when I would actually take it out and see the things that I put on there and what happened. And I started realizing that the things that I put on there may have come to pass in different ways or different avenues. It's just the way how I place them. For example, one year I know I wanted to change careers or change job. And I put that I wanted a new job. And I did not get a new job that year, but I was offered 2 positions that I turned down because they weren't exactly what I wanted. So I realized, I was like, okay, Kenisha, this makes sense. You wrote it down. It happened, but it didn't happen the way you wanted. So then I knew that I needed to be more specific in the things that I asked for and the things and my goals and my dreams. So I did that for about 2 or 3 years. And then I started and I heard about one of my mentors, Keisha Davis, who out of Nassau, who did dream board parties. She was always on Bahamas at Sunrise and, talking about her dream board parties. And in 2019, she started a dream board party experience facilitator, because her dream board parties are a little different than others and not cut and paste, cut out magazines. So she showed us, a few of us, her process as to how she goes through the dream board parties and how persons can facilitate and make their dreams real as part of her process. So I became a dream board party facilitator. So 2020 I hosted my first dream board party. And then, of course, COVID came in March 2020. So I had an in-person party in Freeport and in Turks and Caicos. And after that, I've been doing hosting virtual dream board parties since the pandemic, and hope to be in an actual dream board party again soon.
Great, awesome stuff. And I like something that you mentioned, something that you said. You talked about being specific. in identifying your goals. And that's so very important, because sometimes we say, oh, I wanted this and I want that, but we're not specific. So I want to thank you for sharing the importance of being specific.
Oh yeah, I realized it that year after I looked at it. I'm like, I did get
But you got what you wanted. You got what you wanted.
I got what I asked for. Exactly. But I was given what I asked for, but that's not what I wanted. So I needed to be more specific in what I wanted. Now, it didn't come that year, and it didn't come the year after either, after I was specific, because that was not, that job is not out there for me. And I had to realize that. It took me a while. And that's another thing, just because you put it on for this year doesn't mean that it's going to happen this year. That could be a future plan. That could be a future plan. For instance, I've done a dream board for 2022 that I'm still tweaking a little bit, but I still plan to keep my 2021 dream board, because a lot of the stuff due to COVID and due to some other things were not materialized. And I still have those dreams that I want to fulfill. So that board is still up in my bedroom, up on my wall, because I know that I still want to accomplish the things that are on that board. I am, however, adding different elements for my 2022 dream board.
Okay. But I just want to mention, if anyone listening in, if they have any questions, it's okay for them to throw their question at you. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, so I just want to let anyone know who may be watching. Please like, share, comment. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask your questions. We'll be happy to take your questions on. Okay, so I just wanted to jump into another question as it pertains to the dream boards. But people may not necessarily be familiar with the dream and the vision board. So could you just explain it just a little bit, help us to understand what is the concept all about?
Okay, dream and vision boards are representations of the dreams and goals that you have in your life. So they're visual representations. There's something, a lot of us, we all have dreams, we all know what we want to do, we all have goals, but a dream board is a way for you to put them in a visual space that you can refer to it and look on it, so that you can, for me, I use it to, to dwell it in my brain that this is what I want, and to make sure I continue to go after my goals. So the vision or dream board is just your digital or your photo representation of the goals and dreams that you have set in your life that you want to accomplish.
Well, thank you for explaining that. I know I heard it, talk about before in terms of the importance, because you can have it in your mind. Yes. But, the importance of seeing the visualization of it is something that's, a little bit different.
And, even if we go to scripture reference, it says, write the vision and make it plain. So that means you're supposed to write it somewhere. Put it somewhere. It's not just supposed to be in there. You're supposed to put it somewhere. So the dream board is where you place it so that you can see it.
Can you repeat that again?
Write the vision, make it plain. So your dream board is where you write it and put your photos there so you can place it where it can be seen.
Okay, all right. So we have our scriptural reference.
Habakkuk 2:2.
So can you tell us about the importance of, or the relevance of dream and vision boards for persons who may say, I'm not interested, nah, I don't believe in all of that, that's just, nah. Can you tell us about the importance or relevance for those who may be a little bit skeptical?
The importance is, and the relevance of it is, everyone, I've been to a few of my parties, and one stands on a particular, she felt she didn't have a dream or she didn't have a goal. And I believe everyone has some type of dream or goal. They do not want to just exist. We are not here just to exist, just to, have no want in life. So the significance is for you to place your wants, your needs, the things that you want to go after, so that you can assist with manifestation of those dreams and goals. God has given us a brain. He has given us items and things that we want in life, but we have to also look at it and place it in places that we can, so that we can see it, and actually give him some assistance, or let him assist us, because I think he's given it to us anyway for a reason. So if he's placed it in you, then it's for you to follow. So the significance of it is just to make sure that you have your goals and your dreams available and there for you to be able to see in a place that that you can remember it. Like for instance, I have two. I have a digital one that I have on my phone, and the other one I have a physical one that's on my board, on my wall. And every morning when I roll over in my bed, I see my board on my wall with my goals and my dreams. And we always, in this 2022 age, we always have our phones in our hands. So my digital dream board is actually on my phone so that I can see it. It's my screensaver, it's my wallpaper. Just to keep it there so that I know the things that I want and things that I have planned in my life. And just to have a path, just to have a road to travel.
Awesome. So you have it there like a constant, it's like a constant reminder.
It's a constant reminder. It's always at the forefront. It's my screensaver. I know you probably can't see it as much, but it's my screensaver in the back of my phone. It's my lock screen. So no matter what, I know the goals I have.
Wow. Okay. So as we think about the new year's rolled in, and tradition says, you know, you're going to make those New Year's resolutions. And so as we consider New Year's and the tradition of setting New Year's resolutions, can you share your thoughts on the significance of New Year's resolutions and its relation to dream and vision boards?
Well, when we set out New Year's resolutions, that's always normally a change that we want to see in our life, goals that we want to attain, you know, dreams and desires that we have. However, most people after the new year forget about it. You know, it's always so good. Yeah, this new year, new me. You know, the January, the gyms are filled, the tracks are filled. Everyone's on the street, moving and grooving. And then February rolls in, and all of a sudden it's just a little less, a little less, a little less. So I feel that resolutions are great if it's something that we intend to keep up with. It takes 90 days to make a habit. It takes 90 days. So it's normally if we start something in January and we're not doing it in March, then we won't continue on with it. So resolutions are great if you are consistent with it. Your dream board and your vision board is to make sure put those resolutions or those dreams in the forefront for you to see every day, so that every day you can look at it and try to go after your goals and your dreams and your visions.
Yeah, you mentioned an important point, you know, every year. It's new year, new me.
New year, new me always sings out, but then the new year, yeah, it's only for the new year. The new me only lasts for that new year, that month of January.
Right. So advice, you know, advice. What advice can you offer given the challenges? You know, we've been through some challenges, okay? So given the challenges that many people would have faced in 2021 has been a challenging year for many persons. And a lot of individuals are maybe saying that they want to maybe pace themselves for 2022. 2021 was challenging. You know, let's just take it easy in 2022. We don't want to jump the gun. And so also with those challenges, individuals may be just a little bit timid to set goals for 2022. So in this case, can you share advice for creating dream and vision boards in this environment after the trauma of 2021?
2020 and 2021.
Yes.
So some carried over.
Yes.
So in our dream board parties, in our experience, one of the questions that we ask that sets the tone for the rest of the night is if money, people's opinions were not a factor, what do you truly want to do, have, or be? Okay, so if money, people's opinions, all of the outside influences did not matter, what do you truly want to have, do, or be? So when you take out all of those outside influences, you can really rest assured and find out the things that you want in your life. we let the outside world dictate most times how we navigate this life or how we go through this life. We let, especially people's opinions and lack of money. Those are the two major factors. But if you don't worry about those and just sit down with your own thoughts and come out, you'll be able to say exactly what it is. So even though we may have had challenging years, a few years, and I'm from Grand Bahama, so we've had a challenging many years in this economy and this and in this climate. We've had Dorian. Before Dorian, it was Matthew. Before Matthew, it was Francis and Jane and Wilma. And then we came up and we brought in COVID to the mix of things as we were trying to rebound. If we allowed those outside influences to dictate our life, a lot of us will still be stuck at the bottom. We won't be moving and we won't be growing. So for those persons who I would, for anyone, I would suggest that you yes, those outside influences are there, but once you figure out what it is that you want, you will be able to go after it despite the outside influences, despite all the factors. Because if that's really truly what you want and believe that you should have, you will automatically go towards it and go for it. So that would be my advice, just to continue, just to dream about it, ask God for guidance, place it on your board. And even if it takes a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, if it's for you, it will come to you at some point in time.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for talking about the importance of setting those goals, despite the different challenges that we would have went through. You talk about coming from Freeport, hailing from Freeport, and the different challenges that you would have had post-Dorian, all of the trauma. COVID is being back-to-back trauma.
Yeah.
And so thank you for talking about the importance of creating those dream boards and creating those vision boards despite those challenges. And also I wanted to ask you, are there any additional comments that you would like to add as we wind down in this session?
Oh, yes. So for those who are interested, I'm having a dream board party January 22nd, 2022, virtual, online at 5:30 p.m. I believe that's a Saturday afternoon. For anyone, doesn't have to be here in Grand Bahama, doesn't have to be in Nassau, it can be anywhere in the world. If you're able to join us via Zoom at 5:30 on January 22nd, 2022, I'll be happy to have you. I will drop the link in the chat so that you guys can come. But my name again is Kenisha Missick, and so on Facebook and on Instagram, my page is Kenisha Missick. So you'll be able to see details. The link will drop tomorrow for registration for the upcoming Dreamboard Party, Dare to Dream Dreamboard Party experience that will be on January 22nd, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. online. So if you want to reach out to me, even if you want to do a personal event, I can facilitate that for you as well. And my final thought is just to keep dreaming, keep going. This dream board party experience actually has been a dream and goal of mine for over 10 years. And even though, I think I started my process right before Dorian, and I still continued with it afterwards. And then I still did my dream board parties because it was something that I wanted to do. So keep going after your goals and dreams. It doesn't stop because of the circumstances out there. You can find a way to get it done. You can find a way to do it.
Thank you so much. You didn't just pop up on a scene.
Yes.
This was years in the making.
This was years in the making. I really loved the idea. I did not know how to go about it. So I just inquired on how to do it.
I just want to mention Vivian Pitta. Thank you Vivian. We love you so much. Vivian is our Can We Talk person. We love you, Vivian. I can't even find the words. But she's from Jamaica and she's saying Happy New Year, Deidre. And yes, vision boarding is a good idea. It certainly works for some people. It will not work if we're not serious about the goals we set. Also want to mention Alvin Hepburn. Good advice, cuz listening in.
Yes.
Keep it up. And I also want to mention, and you can comment on it as well, Ms. Missick, about the fact that birth out of those challenges were opportunities as well, even as it pertains to your vision board, because when you would have had to go around and have those parties, you were able to accommodate persons from different areas. So talk about that, because I know you mentioned before you have persons from as far away as well.
So well, I've done Turks and Caicos, and then my last vision board party, or two vision board parties ago, I had someone from Philadelphia, I had someone from North Carolina, and I had someone from Orlando, Florida. So, with the vision boards, because, normally we would normally have an in-person party, but because of COVID, I had to pivot and go virtual. Pivot was a big word in 2020. So I had to pivot and go virtual. So I was able to reach a lot more people because of the COVID pandemic. I was able to put my reach further than just locally here in Grand Bahama or wherever I actually went to do a dream board party. So that was, a blessing in disguise. And you never know, if it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. If it's supposed to happen, if it's meant to be, it will happen, no matter what circumstances or situations may arise. And then you also have to look on, if that's what you want, you're going to make it, you're going to go after it, you're going to do it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Can you give us back those dates? You said you have another one. Can you just—
Yes, January 22nd, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. I will drop the link into the chat for you to register. The registration page is open. The flyer will come out tomorrow. It's scheduled to release tomorrow. The registration opens tomorrow. But for those of you on the Can We Talk Live, you will get first dibs at it at registering. Registration closes on September 20th at 11:59 p.m. And it's just $47 is the investment. And you will have your workbook and you will leave with your vision board for 2022.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you share your page with us?
Yes, it's Kenisha Missick on Facebook and on Instagram. That's the only two platforms I can manage right now. It's Facebook and Instagram. But if you have any questions, you can WhatsApp me at 808-3973. That's 808-3973. And my email is kmissick@hotmail.com.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
We appreciate you. And again, is it possible just one more time to reiterate just the importance of dream and vision boards?
It is important. We do not want to exist. For years, I always had a slogan that I posted on my Facebook page, and I was not put on this earth to pay bills and die, to just pay bills and die. So there is a goal, there is a dream, there is something that you want to do. In order for you to attain that, you need to know what it is. Put it in front of you so that you can keep following after it and going after the goals and dreams and visions that you have for your life. So a vision board is just your tool to keep that vision and dream and goal in the forefront of your mind. You don't want it where the New Year's resolutions go all the way in the back until the next New Year. You want it somewhere where you can see it and keep looking at it to keep you encouraged as you go along your journey to fulfilling and making your dreams real.
Definitely. And then you also said, and you also mentioned, as you would have discussed, it ties in with spirituality as well, and writing the vision and making it plain.
Writing
putting
vision,
that
make it
down,
plain.
having something that you could visualize.
And my personal quote is Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you. So that's why I always say that the dreams to me are given to you by God. They're the things that he wants in your life, for he knows the plans he has for you. But it's up to us to actually make them happen. You have to do it. You have to put some work into it. You have to do it, and to show that you're a good steward of the things that he wants you to do in life. So make your vision board, make your dream board, make it plain so that you know the things that you want to do in your life and the way that you want to proceed. And like I said, you can have a vision board for anything and any dream anything that you want. My vision boards are normally for a full year for all aspects of my life. But if you're a very detailed person, if you have a lot of different hats, a lot of different things you're working on, you can have a dream board for your business. You can have a dream board for your personal. You have a dream board for your family, because your family goals may be different from that of your own personal goals. So, just keep dreaming and make sure that you have it somewhere that you can see it, and so that it can really go inside of you and you'll be able to live it out.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you for sharing that information. And one more time, just share your page.
It's Kenisha Missick, Kenisha Missick on both Facebook and on Instagram.
Thank you, Miss Missick.
No problem, and I will drop it in the Facebook chat.
Yes,
for the registration.
We share it. Thank you so much.
No
we
problem.
Appreciate you, and your dream and vision boards come in line for year 2022 and starting New Year's resolution. Also come in line with our next guest, who's going to be talking about thinking. So I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. See you guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys on January 22nd.
Thank you, Ms. Missick. So we will wait for our next guest to join in, and we will share a little bit of information about who she is. Let me just pull up her information. Her name is Kinara. I hate messing up people's name. Her name is Kinara Lloyd, and she will be joining us shortly. I'm going to pull up her information. So Kinara Lloyd is of the Training and Influence Center. She's a certified speaker, trainer, and coach with the John Maxwell Team. And so she will be joining us shortly to talk about mindful thinking. Okay, I see she is here. Hi, Miss Lloyd. I will pass the virtual mic to you. Welcome.
Hello. Hello.
Hey. Pass the virtual mic to you. Welcome. I think you're getting a little bit of feedback. Is that's me or that's?
One moment. Let me turn off the live.
No problem. Okay. Welcome. So we welcome our guest, Kinara Lloyd of the Training and Influence Center. She's a certified speaker, trainer, and coach with the John Maxwell Team. So she is here to help us talk about positive thinking. So at this time, I'm going to pass the virtual mic to her to have her introduce herself.
Okay.
Welcome.
There we go. Thank you so much for having me, Deidre. I'm glad to be here. Can you hear me clearly? Okay, awesome. Yes, so my name is Kinara Lloyd, like you would have said, and I am a training specialist and a life influence coach at the Training and Influence Center, which is based here in Nassau, Bahamas. This is a company that I established about 5 years ago now, which would have been about a year after I decided to end my tenure in banking. I was in the field of banking for approximately 15 years and really enjoyed that. But I've always been one to pursue my own personal interests. And I believe highly in going after one's goals and dreams and constantly developing oneself. And so I'm a lifelong learner. And so after achieving my career goals in banking, I had some other ambitions that I really wanted to pursue. And that included even personal interests, such as being present more in the home for my young, budding, growing family at the time. I am a wife of 18 years to one amazing man named Valentino, and I have 3 beautiful little people, a daughter and 2 sons. And I really wanted to be able to be there for them, but also to like I said, pursue those other interests. And so for me, as a child of the King, a proud daughter of the Most High, I wanted to really pursue the purpose that he placed in my life. And that was to be able to do his bidding and to work for him. And so he admonished me to leave my career in banking. And I decided to step out on faith and follow after his leading to do just that. And so I did, and was really satisfied as a result. And like I said, about a year later, I had the idea to establish this training business because I had spent a number of years in training and banking with responsibility for several countries in the region. And so I've been passionate about that as well. And so the Training and Influence Center was birthed, where I provide both professional and personal development training and coaching services to my clients. And so it's always a pleasure for me to sit with anybody and talk about some of my favorite topics. And so I'm again delighted to be here, Deidre.
Thank you, Ms. Lloyd. And I do apologize for butchering your name. I need to get better with that.
No worries.
So can you tell us what is the Training and Influence Center?
Okay, so the Training and Influence Center is where I provide both professional, that is seminar training for businesses on topics such as customer service, soft skills training, anything pertaining to performance management, leadership development training as well. And I provide personal development training. And so topics such as this, goal setting and getting things done and putting your dreams to the test and opportunities, whatever it is that people may want to pursue for their personal interests. I provide those kinds of seminars or training as well as coaching. And under the umbrella of the personal development sphere of my company, I provide spiritual training as well. And so if you are interested in developing yourself spiritually, I provide that under the Training and Influence Center as a non-traditional and as a non-traditional environment for growing in one's faith, for getting to understand God better. A lot of people may be spiritually hungry, but for whatever reason, they are not interested in going in the traditional four walls of a church. They may be disillusioned, whatever the case may be. But I believe that God called me to do this work, to be here and to serve as another alternative to help reach those people who saying, yeah, can I learn more about him? Can you help me to grow? Can you mentor me? Perhaps you just need some coaching, whatever it may be, whatever your area of interest are. I have packages available for persons. You can check them all out on some of my social media platforms or my website to help people to achieve their objectives and their goals spiritually, as well as personally and professionally as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And as a certified trainer, speaker, and coach, can you share a little bit about what do you do and what does these roles encompass?
Okay. All right. Yes, I am a proud member of the John Maxwell Team of international certified speakers, teachers, trainers, and coaches. And basically, we have the privilege and the honor to share John's proven techniques and principles on topics such as leadership and personal development. And so I facilitate his courses to individuals and groupings alike. I provide his proven his proven coaching techniques as well in working with my clients to help them achieve their objectives, to help businesses achieve their leadership goals, to help them achieve just generally whatever their objectives may be by working with their staff members and incorporating these proven principles and strategies. And so, yes, I am very very honored to be able to represent the John Maxwell team and share more of his knowledge with the world.
Thank you. Thank you. So can you tell us, let's talk about mindful thinking. What are your views on mindful thinking or positive thinking? You know, some people, like I said, with our first guest, we talk about the trauma and the challenge of 2020, 2021. People may not necessarily be in the mood for all of that talk. So, yeah, you know, so what are your views on mindful thinking or positive thinking? How can your mindset impact your life?
Oh man, and in every way possible, Deidre, every way. I'd like to say to your listening and viewing audience today that our minds are basically the engines of our being. Of course, as human beings, we are made up of body, soul, and spirit. Our soul comprises of our mind, our will, and our emotions. Now, your mind is the aspect of your being that leads basically all of the other areas. And so it leads the body. Your mind impacts your will, and it also affects your emotions. And so whether you are intentionally cultivating the space of your mind or not, it is working. It is working consciously and unconsciously. And so we have to be very deliberate about what we feed our minds, Deidre, because it will either help us to flourish in life or it will cause us to slowly wither, wilt, and die. And I hate to sound so abrupt, but basically that's what happens. There are many people who are just going by ever so idly in life, not really taking charge of their own life and making the most out of it. Okay, so we have to ensure that we are being very intentional about the way we think. All right, and so I want to ask persons, and you may not obviously be able to answer it, but just think about it for a moment. Is your life flourishing at this time? Or would you say that you are slowly dying? You're frustrated. You ain't happy. Things ain't going the way or you wish they would. And if the answer to that is the latter, then I want to remind you at this moment, on the 7th day of the first month in 2022, that you can thrive. And yes, you can bloom ever so beautifully if you so desire. All right. And so if you hear that and you're inspired for a moment, you say, okay, Kinara, wonderful. How do I do that though? How am I supposed to think correctly? How am I supposed to ensure that my mindset is positive? Well, like I alluded to already, we have to ensure that we cultivate, that we curate the space of our mind. All right. Be very deliberate about the thoughts that you are allowing to enter in, that roam through your mind. Your mind, they say that no thoughts should be able to just come in arbitrarily and take up permanent residence within your mental faculties. No, we can choose to receive, or we can choose to evict any thought that enters in. All right. And so if you think correctly, you'll speak correctly. And if you speak correctly, you'll also act correctly. All right. So whatever it is that you want to achieve in your life, I know the wonderful Miss Kenisha shared already, talking about vision boards and putting it down on paper, sharing from Habakkuk 2:2. If you want to achieve something, you can create your vision boards and you can do all of that. But I would add to that you must also ensure that you first have the correct mindset. All right. You have to be deliberate first about thinking right thoughts. That's positive thoughts. Think about wholesome things. Think only the best thoughts. I'm talking about every second of every day, not only when you think it's going to be beneficial to you. You know, you have something you want to do. Maybe I should think right now. No, on a daily basis, in your interactions with your family, certainly in the workplace, you need to control those thoughts there. Just be deliberate about thinking positively, thinking only the best thoughts concerning yourself and others. And I didn't say when you feel like thinking positively and effectively. I said decide to do so, and it can be done. Now, I'll wrap this part up right here, Deidre, and let you ask any more questions you may have. It may be a challenge initially. You may find it extremely difficult, actually, you know, but like I said, it can be done because our Creator, the God of the universe and mankind, He gave us a manual that's often described as the basic instructions before leaving Earth, AKA the Bible. You all know about it. And it contains these powerful words: as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. In other words, we are what we think. The everyday results in our lives reflect the contents of our conscious and our subconscious mind. Our non-physical mind, or I should say the non-physical heart, really is comprised of our subconscious mind. And so the kind of thoughts that pass through your mind on a regular and consistent basis creates thought patterns. It creates your ideology, your philosophy about life, period. And that in turn creates an attitude. What is your general disposition? And as a result, you then find yourself carrying out certain habits. It dictates the behaviors, your actions in life. And so if you see yourself as a winner, as successful, as being able to learn and thereby achieve anything you set your mind to in life, guess what? You're going to get those results. On the flip side, though, if you've been taught, and I know it's in a lot of cases, people didn't grow up to even understand the correct way of thinking. They weren't put in the right environment. And so sometimes you have to, this is what I'm saying, we have to now be deliberate about changing the way we're thinking. If you found yourself, though, being taught and trained to expect defeat, to expect unfair treatment, chaos, lack, and other unproductive, pessimistic results in life, guess what? That's going to be the result too. And so I don't know about you, but I don't want that kind of existence. And can I tell you that I used to be a pessimistic person a little while ago, many years ago. I was, Deidre. I grew up not necessarily understanding all that I'm teaching and talking about now, but I had to learn a better way and then begin to implement it. And thereby I noticed a significant turnaround and change in my life. I'll tell you, when I was in college, actually, I had developed this saying to myself where it was, hope for the best, but expect the worst. How sad, right? Hope for the best. Just a smidget of some light there, but expect the worst. I'm so glad that my philosophy on that changed pretty quickly thereafter. All right. And so if you want to be satisfied and if you want to be happy and fulfilled in life, listen, you have to have a mindset makeover. In the book of Romans, we are admonished to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. Hence, to change your life, anybody who wants to change their life, we must determine to think positively, and then you will begin to believe in yourself and others like you never dreamed possible. And so, mindset makeover, thinking correctly, is definitely a prerequisite to
Ms.
be.
Lloyd, that's great. That's wonderful. What if I'm not in the environment? I'm not in the environment. I'm in a situation where people are talking down to me. People constantly agitating me. I just can't seem to get focused. There's always someone there putting me down. How, given those circumstances, and as I would have mentioned before, the challenges and the trauma of 2021. I mean, it was traumatizing. It was traumatizing for me. So given those circumstances, how can you walk out of that thinking positively? And you have a saying, and you won't trying to use that word, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna let you say it.
Yeah.
You know what I was gonna say, right?
Joyce Meyer says we gotta change our stinking thinking with a Southern drawl. But listen, it doesn't matter where you are in life, and I don't say that not to be empathetic, because I understand. Like I said, I didn't grow up always thinking correctly, and certainly not positively. But when you decide that you want more out of life, that you are dissatisfied with where you are at, and you want to pursue your goals and your dreams, you want to look at the overall vision for your life, you must appreciate that you have to first begin with thinking correctly. And so I would say to acknowledge where you are at and the circumstances around you. Understand that they are not going to help you. And so you have to look within. You have to find the resolve within yourself. And I would also encourage you to lean on the strength of the Lord as well, to ask him to assist you in changing your thinking, because he will, if you request it. But definitely be determined to make a difference, to confess positive statements over your own life, regardless of what others are saying. Write out positive I am statements if necessary. I am a winner. I am an overcomer. I am able to do anything I put my mind to do. I am becoming the best me that I ever want to be. You confess whatever it is that you want to see. You know, another important point laid out in scripture says, speak those things that are not as though they were. And so regardless of whether it's happening in the now, in the moment, you have the power of life and death in your mouth. And so you can speak it, even if you don't even believe it, but speak only life. And as you do that, you will find that you will begin to change. You will begin to think differently. But before you can speak it, obviously you have to, like I said, be deliberate about thinking it. So they all work in tandem, our thoughts, the words that we are speaking, and that then begins to do its marvelous work on the inside of us, so that we can begin to see changes in our lives. Before you know it, you will change. You will change. And so I tell people all the time, in life, we can't control what others do. We really can't. And I'm speaking to adults mainly. It's really, children can adapt this as well. But certainly if you are a free, independent adult, you determine fully and have sole responsibility for the direction your life takes. And so regardless of what others may be doing around you, you have the privilege, you have the power to begin to change the way you experience life by beginning with yourself. All right. And so find a network and a grouping of other people of like mind. Disconnect from those toxic individuals and relationships. If necessary,
you hitting on some. Oh, that's a powerful one. Repeat that, please. Repeat that again, please.
If necessary, disconnect. I'm talking about sever immediately any toxic relationships and connections.
What about people who say, you shouldn't necessarily cut people off? It's immature to cut people off. What do you have to say? What do you have to say about that?
I would ask them, what do they say about those persons harming me? I would turn the question on them. What do I do for this person who is causing me to be overwhelmed and drowning, feeling like I'm drowning in life? They're constantly knocking at me, hitting me down. What would I say to them? I would turn the question back on them. And so that's irrelevant what others think. You have to protect yourself. If you know somebody is just toxic, they do not add any value to your life, then I would say, do what needs to be done. If you need to, if you feel like if they are key, if they've served as somebody close in your life, maybe it's a relative or I don't know, somebody that is really, really close.
That is powerful. How is that connected to thinking? How is severing ties with toxic persons connected with your thinking?
If I spend time in the presence of somebody whose mindset is constantly in the sewer, if everything they think, everything that they say, everything that they do, and every form of interaction they have with me makes me feel
Uneasy,
unworthy. It makes I'm flinching. I'm hurting. Then they are directly impacting my world experience, my life experience. If they speak down at me, if they put me down at every opportunity, then it's difficult. Even if I am trying to think positively, if I'm trying to think correctly, it's difficult for me to really gain any momentum, to experience any change if I'm in the sewer.
But their family, you can't get rid of family.
I like where you're going with this, Deidre. You know, you're making me to want to get into a different mode, but I'm gonna try to stay in teacher mode here, because the other mode would then really put on the spiritual hat and then talk about some aspects in terms of loving beyond the way they deserve to be treated. But I want you to appreciate that we have the power, we have the authority in our own lives to make the changes. People only treat us the way we allow them to. People only treat us the way we allow them to. And so if we need to heal, if we need to grow, we have to put ourselves in the right environment in order to be effective, in order to achieve those results. And so severing ties as soon as is possible to do so would be highly recommended, because otherwise you'll be constantly struggling trying to rise above the tide, the waves in life.
That is so impactful, and I hope that people understand the importance of it. Some of us, we're in relationships with persons, and we sometimes feel as though it's a little bit too difficult. We just can't, sever those ties. We have to have that connection there. But if, like you mentioned, if that person isn't adding value, then why are you still connected to that person?
Yes, even if you look at the pros and cons and you find that there are more takeaways in terms of the value they are bringing to your life, and certainly where there are no long-term commitments, where that may be more challenging, obviously, to protect yourself and to separate and distance yourself. You have to determine that your mental health is priority. And so regardless of even how you may feel, and how difficult it may be to remove yourself from that relationship, whatever kind it may be, friendship or romantic, you have to determine that this is what is best and most suitable for you to be able to have a change, a turnaround in your life, for you to better position yourself to pursue those goals, all those dreams you may have, and then actually achieve them.
That's powerful. That's powerful. It's very impactful. And as we look at this year, 2022, and we think about the tradition of New Year's resolutions, can you share your thoughts on the significance of its relation to mindful and positive thinking?
Yes, certainly. Like, I believe it's important for us to set goals in life. And like I said, in order to position yourself to be successful at accomplishing your goals, it begins with the way you think. And so the connection there is proper thinking is more suited, is a prerequisite and has a direct connection to achievement of one's goals. I like this quote by Jim Rohn. He says, "Success is steady progress towards one's personal goals." And so if you want to be successful in life, you need to be able to move towards, to pursue your own individual goals. And in order to achieve those goals, I like this next quote by Zig Ziglar. He says, "Positive thinking won't let you do anything, but it will let you do everything better than will negative thinking." So positive thinking has direct impact on our ability to achieve on the goals we set in life. And if I could share and interject here as well, before we get further into goals, Deidre, that would be that the book, it's called The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale, is absolutely incredible. I highly recommend that anybody who wants to seriously transform the way they think about life and their whole paradigm, so that you can pursue your goals and live out the big vision that you see for your life and that you even believe God has placed in you to fulfill. I believe that's a great and excellent resource. And so anybody who decides to take advantage of it and certainly implement what he shared in that book will really have a major change in life.
Awesome stuff. So we're going to jump back to you, Miss Lloyd. Don't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. We're going to jump to Jonny Cake, who is also going to share some information with us as well. So we want to jump to him. I see he's logged in. So as soon as he sets up, we're going to jump in, but we're going to get back to you, Miss Lloyd.
Okay.
We want to continue on that track. We're going to continue on the goal track. So we're going to jump to Mr. Jonny Cake. Mr. Jonny Cake, how are you?
Hi, how you doing? I'm all right.
Listen, we love our Bahamian artists. So you have anything for us today? You ready for us today?
Yeah, man, I ready to throw it at me. I ready.
Okay, so can you tell us, just give us a little bit of background about yourself?
Okay, well, they call me Jonny Cake. I grew up in the hard bushes of Andros. I slept on rocks. I got water from the well and coconuts. There was a daily hunt to get crab just to survive and eat. And during that experience is when I got my inner rake and scrape artist. And that's when, Jonny Cake was born.
Awesome stuff. So I just want to mention Jonny Cake. He is a recording artist, radio personality, and more. So I didn't mention that in the introduction. And so you already gave us a brief introduction about yourself. You grew up in Andros, and so you were able to develop your musical skills in that arena. And so I want to thank you for sharing that. And so what is your inspiration? What has been your influence? And also, are you able to perform for us today, or you need me to pull up something? You need me to pull up your music?
I mean, if that's up to you, but my my inspiration really comes off the fly. Like that whole story just now, that came off the fly. I really born in Nassau, Bahamas. Been doing music here for a while, for about 10 years. Been on the radio stations for a while, been performing around for a while, but mostly a lot of my inspiration just comes from having fun, experience, being in the moment. I don't, there's not a lot of times where I plan to write these songs or plan to make a melody. I would just be out with somewhere with friends, having a good time, catching the vibes, and then it just comes to me.
Okay, so can you share with us, as a recording artist, what is your view of the industry as it pertains to the challenges, we're going through issues, protocols for COVID-19. So what is your view of the industry right now?
Our industry is still very young. Our industry still needs a lot of development. I'm not even speaking of just rake and scrape. I mean, generally with the whole music industry that we have here, there's a lot of things that we need to put more in place so that artists are registered properly, so that they get the right compensation, so that things just run smoothly. And it's growing. A lot of people are now getting on board and understanding what we actually need to make this a full career where you don't even need another job. You could actually live and survive off your digital downloads and streams and stuff like that. But we just need a little bit more development within that, so that the industry can push forward, so that the future can come behind us, or it could happen right now, and that we could actually build it and make some serious money from it, to tell you the truth.
Definitely. As you would have mentioned, there's still room for improvement, and there's still room for growth. And so off of the back of that, what advice would you give to an individual who may be interested in becoming a recording artist? What advice would you give to them?
I would say, first of all, no matter what you do, if someone tell you it sounds bad, keep going. Use it, because anything in today's music industry can be a hit. Number two, if you're going to do it, treat yourself as a business. You are a business. As an artist, you are a business, so there's things that you're going to need to make sure that your business thrives and it pushes forward and it works. All right, so once you have that mindset as a business. Number three, read and research. I would say this right here, music publishing. I can say this again, music publishing. Learn music publishing. Once you know music publishing, you don't have to worry about nobody swinging you, trying to take your music. You don't know where your royalty is going. You don't know this and that. It's all up to you to learn, because as independent artists, we don't have the label doing all the work for us. We do it ourselves. And in order for us to know, we have to read, network, and research. That's what I got to say.
Thank you so much. And is there any additional comments you would like to add as we close out your session?
I would like to tell everybody, you could check me out. My name is Jonny Cake. I created the songs Flickin' Road and Get 'em Ricky. I'm also on the Firestorm 103.5 FM, The Beat, Monday to Wednesdays, 6 to 8 p.m. I am at Jonny Cake Dread. You can download, follow me, Google me, any and everywhere. Please download. When you download the music, just spend $1 little, just a little dollar. That's all it is, okay? Just $1 on Jonny Cake, and you could get that music, all right?
Don't go to Lime. I don't even know if that exists anymore. But I was gonna say Lime.
Oh no, baby. No. Don't go there. You go to iTunes, you go to Spotify, you go to Deezer, you go to wherever you download your music from, you go right there and you can find Jonny Cake.
Thank you so much. Now, can we play because anyway, next time you need to perform, okay? You got to put that performance on.
You have to bring me back, and the next time I'm going to put on a full-fledged virtual performance. I promise you that. I can put on a full virtual performance.
So for now, can we play Flickin' Road? Now, Miss Lloyd, please forgive us. It just don't have no language, right? That's good, right? We can play that. I don't know what he look like.
Go ahead, just make sure you got the clear one.
Anyway, I'm gonna play it. Miss Lloyd, you okay? You okay over there? Okay, so I'm gonna pull that up and I'm gonna play that one. Now I don't claim to be a technical person. I try, but I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna play that.
Make sure the title says Flickin' Road.
Flickin' Road. Flickin' Road. That's it right there.
We need no gas. Just let's go. Doesn't matter.
Let's ride.
Because you know what it is?
Okay,
the flicking road. Then shine it on the flicking road. And Jonny Cake say, let me tell you about something what has break my soul. Every time I go on my body say it's flicking close. I've been stressed out past couple of months, I swear that only God knows. I couldn't drive my car by my gal, I couldn't hail my bros. By the food store lines, they're long and plus the ATM broke. Man, I can't even go KFC, get one famous food. Until one day the Prime Minister say if you want go, then go. So I can get me one shape up and I can put on my clothes. I going straight by the bar because it's flicking road. Well, let's get some dirty bungies cause it's flicking road. Since when this open up the country, it's just flicking road. I got me some jelly juice because it's flicking road. The flicking road. The flicking road. I say the flicking road. 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 The flicking road.
I turned my car into a bar, I doing curbside. Trying to get my hustle on, just to try to get by. Food store line that long while COVID going strong. Competent authority, but yet they're wrong. Why spend these KFC, fish fry, pork, ski dog? I just want me some Kong salad, but we still on love. Lockdown baby, this is all we heard. Still under curfew, but boy, it's flicking road. We ain't touched the road in so long, we in quarantine 6 months strong. Chunk a new carnival, rake and scrape, won't come and then gone, wait things to shabby. Give thanks cause we gun body, collects I like them cold. Cause all I know it's just
the flicking road. The flicking road, I say the flicking road. 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 I going straight by the bar because it's flicking road. Well, let's get some dirty bungies cause it's flicking road. Since when this open up the country, it's just flicking road. I got me some jelly juice because it's flicking road. The flicking road. The flicking road. I say the flicking road. 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 From Clifton Bear to Whitney, just flicking road. From Carmichael to Beantown, I say it's flicking road. From Abaco to Inagua, it's just flicking road. I got a cooler full of rum, I say flicking road. My berry cake and shine, you know it's flicking road. I'm just that breaking street for the young people, it's flicking road. That's all I got. That's all I got. Yes! We don't even be good.
Thank you. So what inspired you to write that song? What inspired you?
You know what's funny? It was during the pandemic when that was actually written, and that was that first little taste of road we got. That first little piece before he yuck it back from us. Just that little piece, the bars over.
You get one little taste of road and your head was gone.
Listen to me. I didn't even know what it looked like. I didn't feel like a tourist. I said, oh my goodness, look at a pot cake. Wow. So Shine had sent me the beat and I was just listening. I was just freestyling and freestyling and freestyling. I ended up recording a video that kind of went viral and people told me, you need to make it into a real song, bro. Please. I called up Shine. We gone from there, hit the studio, and then the song was born.
Awesome stuff. Well, thank you for sharing with us today. We would have preferred you perform that live. We love our Bahamian artists, but hey, music is still all good.
I got you.
It's still all good, but I want to thank you for joining us. And is there anything else you would like to share?
Like I say, shout out to y'all. I'm happy and appreciate that y'all even gave me the time slot to be here and tell everybody to like and share because this is an amazing platform and it's an awesome job that you're doing, man.
Thank you. Well, you like and share, like our page and share
of
and
course.
Subscribe to our YouTube, our Twitter,
of course, I got you.
Our Instagram. Thank you so much. Can you share your information one more time? Share your information one more time.
It's at Jonny Cake Dread, JONNYCAKEDRED. You can Google that, YouTube it, Facebook it, Twitter it, Snapchat it, Instagram it, TikTok it, everywhere. iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, AudioMac, everywhere.
So for those of us who like our Jonny Cake, this is my last question. Why you on still? Why? Where did the Jonny Cake come from?
Earlier in my music career, I was called Rio de Janeiro. And I had made a song earlier with that name called These Guys from Bamboo Shack. The whole kind of special thing. Yeah. So what I realized though was that I couldn't really copyright or market the name because of, it's a whole situation in the world. So I had to think of something that was purely Bahamian for Bahamians to recognize automatically when they hear my name. They could say, that guy's Bahamian no matter where I am in the world. No matter if I perform it in Europe and this place, they say, I know that fella from. And then when international people hear it, they could agree with it and like the name too and be like, oh, that's cool cake. All right, you bought that cake or whatever. So that happened when I just saw my mom at the time. She was baking some Jonny Cake. And just like that, she said, you want Jonny Cake? I say, Jonny Cake, Jonny Cake, Jonny Cake. Yeah. Wow, I go with that. Just like that.
My Lord, you poach our name. But anyway, we still love you. Don't do that, man. But we still love you. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing with us today. And you're a friend. You're invited back. We want to hear you perform that live. Okay.
I got you. All right.
All right. Thank you so much, Jonny Cake.
Thank you too.
Okay. Okay. So we'll jump back into our mindful thinking after we already talked about a flicking road. We do apologize, Ms. Lloyd. We do apologize. So we need to get back into mindful thinking. We need to get back. We need to get back to mindful thinking, Ms. Lloyd.
Yes, I'm here.
And so we want to ask you your advice on becoming mindful. As I would mention, there's so much trauma, and some persons may not find themselves in an environment that is conducive to positive mindful thinking. They may be in a situation where it's intense, there's a lot of toxicity, negativity around, given the challenges that so many people face. What advice would you give to people to help them be mindful and remain positive, even under pressure, even under challenging circumstances?
Great question. Yes, and I want to begin by saying we have the power to determine how we react to any situation in life. And so if you find that you are really in an environment that is not conducive to you easily changing your thinking, and you are not able to remove yourself immediately from that environment. You can still be encouraged with knowing that you have the ability to change this space, your personal space. And so I would say to begin in the small things, challenge yourself with looking at how you can, what's the opposite of how you can respond to whatever situation you're being faced with. So if you need to convince, if you need to say to yourself, if somebody said to you, "You're so stupid," or "Why don't you care your you know what?" You remind yourself in that moment, I am an intelligent being. I am not stupid. I am able. I can do anything I put my mind to do. That is not true. I reject that. I do not receive that from my life. I am a wonderful person. I am choosing to change my circumstances or even my behavior, because sometimes people cannot even begin to confess certain things over their lives because perhaps they agree that they are making bad decisions. You recognize that you have faults and that you've done things wrong, and you know that this is not proven productive in your life. But in order for you to change it, to even consider that, you have to begin with thinking that you can. So confess those things over yourself, over your life that you want to see. For instance, I remember there was a time in my life when I had a problem with tardiness. And no matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried, I always found myself late. And so before I can change my habitual tardiness problem, I had to speak some things within myself and out loud. And I began with writing down what it is that I wanted to see play out. And so I arrive to work on time every day. I attend all my events either early or on time. And you always speak in the present tense when you are deliberately trying to change the outcome you want to see in your life. Speak in the present tense. Use the words "I am," which is actually one of the names of God. He called himself "I am." So anything you declare over your life using those words have such tremendous power to affect the course of your life. And so I am blessed. I am favored. I am becoming. I am doing. I am whatever it is that you need to put behind the words "I am." Confess that over your life. And so my encouragement remains the same, to believe that you have the power to affect your own mental space first, and then you would be surprised to know how, if you just get if you focus on one particular confession and area, and you repeat that, you remind yourself of that every moment you can, how that one decision can cause a snowball effect and bringing about other changes in your life, because you will see your actions begin to follow, your thoughts begin to follow, certainly your words. And so perhaps you need to remove yourself from this situation. Begin by confessing, I am exiting this toxic relationship. I am more than enough. I am able to support myself. Whatever it is, whatever you're faced with, I am a competent employee, or whatever your role is. I am an amazing mother. I am patient. I am gentle. I am kind. I am worthy. I am worthy of being in a better environment. I am worthy of living differently. And you're saying that to counteract the existence that you are currently facing. Because again, I say there's life and death in the power of our tongue. And I go back to the initial quote I made from the Bible, that as a man thinketh, so is he, as he thinks in his heart. And so we are, in essence, what we think. And that existence can and will change if we just decide to begin with deliberately altering the patterns of our mind.
Thank you. That's so powerful. And you even talk about the scriptural reference in terms of what you think about yourself is actually, going to manifest, as you would have mentioned. As a man think in his heart, so is he. And so, those are so very important. Go ahead. Go.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing that it is important, even that it is found in God's word, because God is our creator. He knows how he designed us. He knows how he wanted us to function. And so it's no coincidence that there are numerous scripture verses that tell us the importance of the way we think and the overall state of our mind. In fact, in Philippians 4:8, it goes in even greater detail, being very specific. It says, whatsoever is lovely, whatever is pure, whatever is just, whatever is praiseworthy, Deidre, whatever is excellent and of good report. It didn't say Deidre, but
No, that's wonderful. Listen, I know that scripture by heart. That's excellent. And if you went to Aaron Bailey School, you know that scripture, because that was our school's our motto, Philippians 4:13. Whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. And we said that every day.
And it isn't just an arbitrary statement out there. There's a reason that God included these profound but often overlooked and disregarded references in scripture, because he is our designer, he's our creator, and he knows how we ought to function. So whenever we allow ourselves, or unfortunately, if we were raised in an environment and we never learned differently and continue to think along the lines of unwholesome, negative, defeating thoughts, it's no wonder that then is manifested in our lives. And so,
Miss Lloyd, can I jump in? Is it okay?
Yes, sure.
Because you mentioned something, and I want to say that, how do you break that cycle when you have a parent who, would have had their parent telling them, you'll never be anybody, you'll never be nothing, and then you pass it on to your child? How do you break that cycle?
Yeah, you mean in terms of you being the parent and having children? Yeah.
You had that behavior transmitted to you. So how do you see it, you see it recurring? How do you break that cycle of that repeated negativity, that repeated toxicity? How do you break that cycle?
One day at a time. One day at a time. Reminding yourself, and in talking about in my plan to speak with regard to goal setting, I was going to share the importance of having well-written goals, and like Kenisha would have shared before with the vision boards, keeping those goals before your eyes. And so you need to be able to set yourself up for success by being deliberate about writing smart goals, and then ensuring that those goals remain visible before you daily. Because as you see it before your eyes, you are reminded to continue working towards that, to continue doing. And from there, in terms of planning, even once your goals are set, you can ensure that from your goals, you create habits or routines. So what what if you have a particular goal, let's say to grow more, develop yourself in 2022, and you then want to make that more specific, and you indicate that you should be reading self-help books or personal development material, and filling your mind with that on a daily basis. A part of your routine should include something like reading for 20 minutes from a specific book or relevant book, or listening to a podcast or some audio material that is helping you to again go in the direction you want to go. You have to, in order to change your thinking, you have to fill your mind with the thing that you want to become. And so if in your physical world you're not around people that are enabling you or helping in that area, then you can do things to help yourself. There's so much free material available online nowadays. There is no reason, absolutely no reason, for anyone to be ignorant in 2022. And ignorant just means you lack knowledge. You don't know how to do something. No reason. You can look up anything. So how do I improve myself, whatever the case may be? How do I become a better parent, better mother? How do I think correctly? Audio books are even available for you to have access to at no charge. So utilize those resources. Go after, search out, look for opportunities. Like I said, as you do that, you will begin to affect the way you're thinking, coupled with your efforts to be deliberate about curating what's coming in your mind, because every thought that enters your mind isn't your thoughts always. Anyway, it could be just the autopilot running from what you would have heard growing up, or it could be other sources, entities that exist that implant thoughts into your mind. Every thought isn't your mind, so isn't yours, so you can reject them. No. Even we learn, again, you know me, I will speak from the Word of God. Jesus himself, he was able to counteract and resist Satan, the evil one, with his words, because he was using God's word to replace and to counteract the deceptive words and thoughts that were being spoken to him from the evil one with the word of God. It is written. And so you can use God's word. I highly recommend it. If not, you use something else that's in keeping with the Spirit of God, that whichsoever is good, whatsoever is lovely, whatsoever is positive, those, and replace it. So no, I'm not stupid. No, and you know, because we so stupid. Why do that, man? Oh, gee, dummy. So you why look so stink? And we're everywhere. And at any time, constantly running this negative tape in our head. You know, if you allowed anybody to speak to you, sometimes the way we speak to ourselves, until you decide that you're not going to live that way anymore, you would probably be highly offended. But why do we do it to ourselves? I've decided that there's no joy, no pride in me saying anymore in my life that I'm my biggest critic. No, I'm not my biggest critic, babes. I'm my biggest fan. I encourage myself. I'm my biggest cheerleader. And that isn't being pig-headed or arrogant. No, I have to be, I'm with me 24/7, and I want to be good company to me. You feel me, Deirdre? You know, I want to be good company.
I love that because people take so much pride in saying, you know, I'm the toughest critic. I'm my biggest critic.
Guilty.
But you turn that around. You say, no, baby, I'm my biggest fan. I love that. Yeah.
And you know what? That's not to say that you shouldn't properly analyze your results or your behavior or attitudes or anything like that. Even when you recognize that you fall short, I would say to myself, okay, Kinara, that didn't go so well, but you know what, baby girl, you can get it. You can do better next time.
I love the language that you're using, baby girl. You're talking to yourself so sweet. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Yes. Again, I would speak to my best friends like that. I would speak to my girlfriends in that way. We are kind to others. We know how to do it. I'm gonna be the same way, if not better, with me. I have to be my biggest fan.
So
Because
how do you,
I know me.
oh man, I gotta stop myself. But Miss Lloyd, there's a common verbiage that is used, the B word. I don't want to use it, but hey, so how is okay.
I know where you're going, and I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you, and that unfortunately is a common occurrence in our race amongst Black people.
But isn't it seen as a term of endearment?
Some people say that, but again, is it really? It perhaps have morphed into that over time, but what does it really mean though? I'm the biggest, baddest, you know what? What does that really mean? Are those qualities truly something worthwhile, something some others should emulate? Do you feel proud saying that in the front of your child or your nieces or others whom you would want to encourage and be a role model for in life? Are you truly within yourself proud of that? And so those are not true, they're not beneficial. I understand, like you said, the familiarity of it. People have become accustomed to it now, and it's even seen as an endearing term. But in reality, those terminologies don't have great meaning beneath the surface. And so we want to build ourselves up. And it begins with us, again, working on our own development. And as we do that, I can tell you, it will be an automatic response for you to begin to set up boundaries and to have people appreciate that, no, you can't speak to me that way. No, and it's not so much of who do you think you are, because that's what people like to say. Well, who she thinks she is. I don't know who you think I am, but I know who I am because I know whose I am, right? And so we must appreciate the need to speak, first of all, think and speak kindly to ourselves, and to, in turn, think that same way about others. I don't look at others and automatically think the worst, because I have trained myself to not only think correctly within my being, but also to think the best of others first. I'm going to give you a clean slate. I'm not going to assume because of even first impressions or whatever. I'm going to assume the best. Maybe you're grumpy right now. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe it's not personal towards me. You understand? And so we have to, man, listen. It's only I think common sense to appreciate the need to love yourself.
Yes, definitely.
Even the good book tells us, says, love your neighbor as yourself. How can I love my neighbor effectively and unconditionally if I don't love me? So a lot of times people can't even fulfill their goals and their dreams, Deidre, because in reality, they don't believe in themselves. They don't love themselves. they don't think that they are worthy even of the goals and the dreams they know deep down within they desire to accomplish. And I don't mean to get heavy and deep here, because we could go here. We could go real deep, but we'll be here all night.
Yeah, very powerful, very powerful.
It really is. It really is imperative that we think positively, that we think correctly in life.
Definitely, definitely. As we would have transitioned into this new year, and as we wind down and as we close out the session, I wanted to ask you if there are any additional comments that you would like to add, or any comments that you would like to make.
Yeah, sure. You know, and had we had time in talking about goals and setting plans to better aid you in fulfilling those goals, I wanted to share the importance of personal growth, so that even when you begin to accomplish a particular goal or goals that you've set, you are able to continue striving towards more, to continue to look to even greater and really maximize your potential in this life. And so it's important that we constantly grow and we work on ourselves. In order to do that, again, we have to be deliberate about investing in our own mindset change, investing in how we are going to grow, how we are going to gain the not only the skills, but the character that's required to become this better person that we want to be, to fulfill on our complete or our whole potential, because that'll always be your journey. So we have to continue growing. And I have resources available for anybody that may be interested. If you would like to ensure that you continue to develop yourself, I have a complimentary life coaching newsletter that I share with persons. If you visit my business Facebook page at the Training Influence Center, CENTRE, you can take a look at some of the posts there and look for the life coaching one. And there's a link there where you can register to sign up for my newsletter. I also have an upcoming 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth Mastermind group that's scheduled to begin very soon, actually, this month. And how that works is a small group that is, of like-minded persons would come together on a weekly basis over a period of time. And in this case, it's 8 weeks to discuss what we would have learned in the book that we would be reading together, which is entitled the same thing. This book is written by my mentor, John Maxwell. And we go through all of the principles that he would have shared in this book about the laws and how we can implement them effectively in our lives. The masterminds are always very, very exciting and engaging, because people are able to talk about what challenges they are having with implementing those recommended activities and exercises that John has in the book, and certainly discuss whatever the information is he would have shared. And it's really engaging. We benefit from the camaraderie of it all. Really exciting. And so people they always talk about the life-changing effects as a result of having been a part of one of these masterminds. And so if you would like to learn more about that, again, you can visit my business Facebook page with the same name, the Training Influence Center, or my actual website, www.thetraininginfluencecenter, CENTRE, that is, .com. You can follow me on Instagram, same name, or via Kinara Lloyd. Anyone will pull up my my business. And so I'll be happy to connect with you and to begin to continue to share with you should you be interested. And so that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Deidre, and for engaging me. We had such a robust conversation. I can't believe the time.
And I scared ahead of myself.
No problem.
But I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for sharing the impact and the significance of positive thinking as we transition. And we made this transition into the year 2022 with so many things going on and people not feeling the need or the importance or the relevance of being mindful in their thoughts. So I want to thank you for sharing that and having this talk with us today. And also wanting to have you provide that information in the comments as well. You can go in the video and share that information with the Training and Influence Center in the comments as well for persons who may be interested,
Certainly.
following up on that information. And I want to thank you, Ms. Lloyd. I want to thank you when we talk about the flicking road that forgive us. Listen,
I'm Bahamian. I understand totally. I'm fine. I'll be all right.
See, we had to switch it up, okay? So
Yeah.
forgive us. You understand, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we good. All right.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for joining us today. Thank you for sharing this very impactful information with us today. And Ms. Peter from Jamaica is saying positive thinking is correct. So thank you so much, Ms. Peter, for joining us today and for all those who would have viewed us today. And if you have anything else you would like to share with us, please feel free to comment under this video and let us know your thoughts and let us know what you would like us to talk about. I would like to thank all of our guests today, Kenisha Missick, Kinara Lloyd.
Yeah, you're close.
Okay, I got it. All right. And Jonny Cake for joining us today. Thank you for listening to our talk. And thank our viewers, like our page for future notifications, subscribe to our page, following the social handles that we have provided on our page. And thank you. And can we talk? Can we talk about it? Thank you, Ms. Lloyd. Have a good evening.
All right. Thank you. And thank you to all who tuned in. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.